Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? I hope all is well with you. I hope that you are sliding to this weekend, getting some much needed rest, checking those boxes off of the to do list, just all the things. Well, today video, I wanted to discuss something about time management, how to fit it all in. So I've been out of the workforce for about 11 years, and to be honest with you, I have zero desire to ever go back. And the reason being is I just cannot commit myself to 8 hours a day working for someone else and then the commute hours and then coming home and basically giving the family the leftovers of me. On top of that, I homeschool. So I need to be here in the home. So, how do I get all of this stuff done? How do I get it all done without running myself ragged with three children, keeping a clean, decent home, cooking meals for everyone, and just doing all the extra stuff that we like to do as a family? It's not easy, but it can be done. When I first began my journey as a at-home mom, at-home wife, it was really difficult. My time management was all over the place. Like, we literally would be eating dinner at 9, 10 o'clock because I just did not know how to structure my day. Also, I've never been diagnosed, but I do feel that I possibly am somewhere on that ADHD spectrum somewhere. The older I get, the more in tune I am with it, and I just know how to kind of reel myself in. But especially in my younger years, even 10 years ago, it's just very difficult for me to have this big block of time and just not know what to do with it. So when we first got married, I used to get up with my husband, help him get ready for work. I would make these big breakfasts. Everybody would sit down at the table and we would eat breakfast. At the time, it was just my oldest, the grown son. He's 22 now, but at the time I think he was like 12 or 11. I had time for that. And then once everybody would leave for the day, I was home. And it's like, okay, what do you do? Let me play solitaire on my iPad. Not the iPad. It was the thing that only played music. I forgot what that Apple. It was an Apple device, but anyway. So I would watch a lot of TV. I thought that I had all this time in the world. I would hang out with friends. I would just go shopping. I would probably get home around 3 or 4 o'clock by the time my oldest would be home from school. I would always be there by the time he got home, and then I would start the routine. Helping him with homework, getting laundry done, putting whatever away that I had shopped for that day. But I always had this thing that I wanted to make sure dinner was hot out of the oven by the time my husband came home. And that was the most problematic thing ever. Because when he would call me and be like, hey, I'm on my way home, at that point, I would start making dinner preparations. So it wasn't until much later that I realized it takes me 2 hours to cook. Sometimes he calls me at 3, sometimes he calls me at 4, sometimes he calls me at 5:30. You know what? I just made this rule. Dinner is at 6:30. Whether you're home or not, dinner's at 6:30. And he was totally fine with it. He was like, hey, that works for me. He didn't care. It was me, the one that was so fixated on that. So eventually, throughout the years, I started realizing, hey, I'm a slow cook. It always takes me 2 hours to cook, no matter what. So I just started planning accordingly. Hey, we need to eat by 6:30. I need to start doing dinner around 3:30, 4 o'clock. Fast forward to now, the whole family dynamics has changed. Okay, the oldest is out of the house. I no longer get up with my husband anymore because the needs of the children have kind of changed. So he just grabs lunch on breakfast on his ship, or sometimes he'll just grab a breakfast bar and a yogurt, and he's on his way. So now I'm homeschooling. Um, 3 kids. At first it was two, and then Elijah came home with us. But I still struggle with some things because I remember probably this time last year we were in Japan, and I'll never forget this day. It was a Sunday night, 8 o'clock, and I'm combing through Kelsey's hair, and I'm in tears because dinner wasn't done. I had all this stuff that needed to get done because I'm the type of person on Sunday, I like everything to be done so that the week coming up, I have minimal things to do. My heart was in the right place, my mindset was in the right place, but I was doing it all wrong. So at this point, I don't even think yeah, we were going to church at that point, but we went to church. Church was kind of late. So I recall that morning before church, we used to go to church at 12 o'clock. No, it was 12:30 and we'd leave the house at 12 o'clock. So that morning, I'm sitting around sipping my coffee, doing my weekly lesson planning for the kids, watching Law and Order or whatever Lifetime movie, go to church, eat, and then let's do our big massive cleanup for the week. Let's finish up laundry for the week. Let me do Kelsey's specialized hair treatments because she has some hair treatments I do once a week, sometimes twice a week. Let me do her nails and stuff, our day of beauty. I was trying to fit too much stuff in at one time. Oh, I gotta go to the commissary. Make sure we have fresh bread, fresh fruit, fresh milk. Doing all that stuff. And it doesn't sound like a lot for somebody like me, as I said before, which I do feel that I've never been formally diagnosed, but I do feel like I do have some form of ADHD. And then I started getting so overwhelmed with things, I just sit down and do nothing at all. But on this particular day, I just tried to do so much. And so, yeah, by 8 o'clock at night, I was crying because I was so frustrated. I was so stressed out that I felt that I missed the mark. I didn't get everything done that I intended to get done. So at that point, I said, no more. I am not doing this anymore. So then we switched the routine. Now, mind you, there are times where my husband's gone for months at a time, so everything's all on me. So that's what I have to plan for the times where he's not home. Because when he's here, it's like, hey, you do the bath, I do the kitchen. The kids know their stuff. Hey, while you're cleaning, I'll go shop. While you're shopping, I clean. It's just we can switch off that way, but that's not always my reality. So I have to plan for when he's not home. So then we got to a point where it's like, okay, we're doing way too much in a short period of time. And Elijah was like, Sunday should be for rest. And I'm like, you know what? Rest in church. That's what he said. I said, you're absolutely right, son. So we switched. Let's do the stuff on Saturday. We're going to shop and we're going to clean. And I'm going to do Kelsey's beauty stuff on Saturdays, which was great. But I remember one day in particular, we were all hauling trash out. And it was so beautiful. There were so many kids at the playground. I said, forget this. Let's go play. And all the stuff was still waiting for us later that night. And it kind of threw the whole entire day off. So what we ended up, I saw that routine is not going to always be to our advantage. And we still had to go shopping and everybody was kicking and screaming. And we ended up going shopping that Sunday anyway, something I don't like to do. So then that's when I started dividing up things. Okay, we're going to start shopping on Fridays for whatever we need. If I can go earlier in the week and it doesn't interfere with our school, I'll go shopping earlier during the week. Saturday is our massive cleanup where we do our deep cleaning. Truth be told, we only need to do a massive deep cleaning once and organizing once, except for the bathrooms. We do a major cleanup on the bathroom twice a week. All the other days, it's just spot cleaning, like, get some wipes. But the deep cleaning, we do that twice a week, especially the kids because we got 3 kids sharing the same bathroom. So we start shopping on Fridays, deep cleaning on Saturdays, and the day of beauty for me and Kelsey on Saturdays. And then Sunday, we have church. That was back in Japan. Since we moved here, it's pretty much the same thing now. We try to get our shopping done on Fridays. We do our deep cleaning on Saturdays. I like to get the car washed and shined up. Well, I only get the car, like a deep clean on the car wash like twice a month. So get the car wash ready for church. Make sure I have money out for tithes and offering. Saturday, also, I iron church clothes. I do that early. While I'm watching a movie or a show, something, I do that stuff early. I'm getting suspenders, neckties, stockings, all of my stuff. Do all that on Saturdays. And then sometimes on Saturdays, I'll do the weekly planning for the kids' lessons. Sometimes I can do it on Sundays. That's no biggie for me because I've done the majority of the stuff over the summer. So this way, all I got to do is pool resources, write out what everybody's doing, look over everything. Just make sure all my stuff is set up and organized for the week. Now, what does my week look like? Monday is our day off. So you might be asking, why do you do all this stuff on the weekend when you have Mondays off? It just sets my tone for the week. Everything done, clean, and organized, it just sets my tone for the week. It keeps me organized. It keeps me focused. Yes, that day is off, but it goes along with the reason why we take Mondays off in the first place. We take it off to kind of regroup, energize. We worked hard over the weekend, remember? This weekend, what did we do? I did a little bit of shopping Friday, not too much. And plus, we're getting ready for Jerry's birthday on Monday. My mom's coming Monday, so I have some help coming. So I did a little bit of shopping on Friday. We went and saw Wakanda Friday night. Today is Saturday. I'm doing laundry. Right now, the kids are just chilling, doing whatever it is they like to do, playing their games and stuff. But in a little while, we're about to get off and start our cleaning. I'm going to do Kelsey's hair. I'm going to do her nails, things like that. Sunday, we're doing Jerry's birthday, so I don't have to worry about cooking or whatever. Monday, my mom, hey, mom, watch the kids while I go shop. And there it is. Because it's a pain for me when I don't have that help and I need to go shopping and, get the kids ready. And they're complaining because they don't want to go, And sometimes when they've done so much cleaning, they don't want to go out and shop too. So it's just easier for me to simplify my week. So yeah, on Monday, I can just chill out. And if I didn't get around to doing the kids' weekly lesson plans, I'll do that. But how does my week go when we have school? When the kids have their stuff to do? When I have my things I have to do? Well, as of right now, the kids are still not involved in any formal activities as of yet. We will be, but we're still trying to get stable from this move, which set us back financially, which we're finally recovering from that. But just because we've recovered from that financially, I don't want to just boom start making more financial commitments. I want to get stable. We have Jerry's birthday coming up, and then we got to get ready for the holidays. So it's coming, just not right this moment. So right now, I'm not dealing with their activities at the moment. Now in the next couple months, yes, we should be able to do activities. But as far as now, and you know what? Even with their activities, it's not going to be that affected, and I'll tell you why. I already know I cannot commit to an activity on a Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock, because that's when I have Bible study. I cannot commit on a Tuesday because that's when the kids practice for their third Sunday service for church, unless the activity ends at least by 5 o'clock to give us time. So I already know an activity between 3 and 5 is good. 3 and 5 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays, I know for a fact the schedule's open. Friday, the schedule's open. Monday, the schedule's wide open. You understand? So yeah, it's Saturday even. If we want to do something on a Saturday, we can possibly fit that in with our cleaning and everything. Because I've already checked out a couple places that have Saturday morning gymnastics at 12. But anyway, so let's just say it's a Tuesday. This is how my day would go. We would get up, eat breakfast by 8 o'clock, go outside, ride the bikes for about 20 minutes, come in, get dressed. Have school from about 9 o'clock. It's been running around 1:30, sometimes 2 o'clock, depending on if the kids want to engage in deep conversations. 2 o'clock. But that morning, I already have dinner taken out of the freezer. So by the time school's over, I don't need to deal with it. Depending on what I'm cooking, after school, the kids, they do what they like to do. And that's, do their iPads or maybe watch a little TV, whatever they want to do. Because they earned it, they deserved it. They had a good day. My kids always have, well, not always, but 9 times out of 10, their school day has been really great. So sometimes, depending on how spent emotionally I am, I'll sit down for about an hour. So from about 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'll just do nothing. And then I'll get up and cook. By 5, dinner's ready. Sometimes Um, right after school, depending on what I cook again, I'll just start right afterwards because I'm not that emotionally spent. I can get up and just continue to work and do things. You understand? So, no matter what, I try to make sure that dinner is done because for me, that's the biggest part of my day. Now, mind you, when the kids wake up in the morning, they do their morning chores. They're straightening up the bathroom, they are cleaning their rooms. But the night before, their rooms are already clean. Because if they want to watch a show in the evening, the only way you can watch that show is to make sure the bathroom's been tidied up, make sure your rooms are clean. Then you can watch your show. So in the morning, their rooms are already clean. All they have to do is make their beds. Clean up after yourselves after brushing your teeth and washing your face in the morning. That kind of thing. Everybody cleans out the tub after they get a shower so they don't have to worry about that. So in the morning, the cleanup is very minimum. So after school, there's really not that much to do. So yeah, so by the time they're done with school, we clean up the homeschool room, go play your game, go watch your show, do whatever you want to do. After iPad time, that's when, if we decide to do an activity, we'll do an activity. But for the most part, as of now, they just go outside to the playground. We either go right out here um, to the playground right out back, or I'll take them to the playground around the corner. Come home. Sometimes they'll take a shower before dinner. Sometimes they take the shower after dinner. It just depends. Easy breezy. Everybody's in bed by 9, sometimes 9:30, depending on how chatty they get at night. But it's okay. And then guess what I'm doing? That night, while everybody's getting ready for bed, in the final stages of the night, that's when I vacuum the homeschool room. Even though it's clean already that night, I know sometimes, like after dinner, whatever, they like to come in here and play. I got this fixation with having fresh vacuum lines in the morning. It just makes me feel ready to go and start our homeschool day. And you know, as a homeschool mom, you need that motivation sometimes. Anything it takes to make you ready to take on the day. So yeah, so after that, I'll vacuum the floor. Another thing that I do, I get their clothes ready. Um, Usually after school. After they're doing their own thing after school, I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and iron up their clothes for the day. Sometimes I do it as they're doing their independent work. I'll take advantage and do it at that point. So at night, these are the things I need to have done. I need to make sure that homeschool room's been vacuumed. I need to make sure I put the date on the whiteboard. They like to see the date put on there every morning. I make sure their schedule for the day is written up there. I make sure their clothes are laid out and nicely ironed. I also vacuum the living room. I make sure that whatever dinner dishes or whatever is all clean and put away. I get my house 100% ready for the next day. There are no dishes in the dish drain. I clean up everything, wipe down the counters. The kids, they take care of the dining area now. They clean the table, they sweep the floor. So I have a huge help with that. Also, if I need to do laundry, I'll do one load of laundry, sometimes two loads of laundry during my homeschool day. And it's done. I try to do as much as possible so that my evening routine is not so jam packed, so that when it is nighttime, I can tuck my kids in and cuddle with them for a little bit and talk to them without feeling stressed out and, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, what about this? And oh, what about that? I do as much stuff as I can during the day so that the nighttime I can relax myself. And for me, having dinner done takes the majority of my stress out of my day, especially when I have other things to do. Especially on Wednesdays when it's my Bible study night, because I like the kids to be as self-sufficient as they possibly can be, because I want to focus on spending that time with the Lord and fellowshipping with other people from the church. So on Wednesdays, it's a little bit different because I need to make sure, has everybody eaten? I need to make sure everybody's taking their showers, because even with Kelsey, she's 6. I still have to help her with some areas to shower with. Everybody by 7 o'clock, y'all need to make sure all that's done, or nobody, I usually let that be their time. They can watch a movie or something. Nobody's doing that stuff until it's done, because When they're occupied, then I can focus on what I need to. I don't need it to be where somebody's, oh, give me a towel, mama, wash my back. I need them to be self-sufficient, and that's just the reality of it. And so far it's going pretty well. I had a couple of hiccups when I first started Bible study, trying to hurry up and cook and feed the kids while we're having it. I just wasn't focused. I couldn't even pay attention. And it was bad enough because I didn't have the book that they were studying out of at that time. So I really had to listen, and I couldn't focus. You understand? So these things really help me to be able to focus on what I need to as well. I have my things to do just like my children do, and what they will do, especially when they start up doing their activities. And then after Bible study, okay, that's when now is your time with me again. So thank you for giving me that hour and 15 minutes. Now I can get back to tending to you guys. But yeah, I have to make sure all that stuff is done prior to getting online for Bible study. So I hope that these tips have been very helpful for you, especially if you struggle with time management. Just take a couple pages out of my book, just kind of see how I'm able to do things, because my days aren't as stressful as what they used to be at all. And the more organized you are, and the more you have your house clean and things are just all well put together and you're prepared, you won't be canceling school, because I know that happens a lot of times. Nobody wants to talk about that. Well, let's talk about, okay, no school today. Let's talk about that. Because you're not all the way there. You're not, if you know that the house is a mess, if you know that you didn't get the kids' stuff laid out for the day, you're probably not going to want to be able to function as a mom and as a teacher. You understand? So it's best that you go ahead and get yourself organized, get all your kids' stuff laid out. Like, I have a stack of papers of handouts and things, a list and everything that they need to do for when we have school on Tuesday. It's done. So, and another thing that's helpful is reduce the things that you want to do in the morning. For me, I don't like to do anything. I meal prep breakfast. I meal prep breakfast because my mornings, I like them slow and intentional. I don't want to have to be scrubbing pots sometimes after breakfast. Sometimes I do. There's nothing wrong with that. But those times that I have to do that, it's like minimal. It's like easy for me to fix a big, healthy, balanced breakfast when it's already been prepped. Already been done. So I don't want to have to make copies in the morning. I don't want to have to do the kids' board in the morning. I don't want to have to pull resources in the morning. I like to sit down like this on the couch. And enjoy the day that God decided to wake us up. That's what I like to do. I don't like scrambling around in the morning. I move too slow for that. And I've noticed my days are a whole lot better when I don't have to prep or prepare anything. Just get up and go. Kids' stuff is already ready. Even at night, make sure those kids have clean clothes. You don't want it to be where it's nighttime and somebody's getting out the shower. Mom, I have no more pajamas. Get all this stuff done. If you know that, like me, I know my kids like to do whatever they want to do after school. So if they want some screen time after school, I don't want to have to stop them from doing what they wanted to do because they worked hard for it, because mommy needs to run all these errands. Sometimes we have to. Sometimes I have to go to the post office. Sometimes I have to go by the UPS store to drop off a package. Sometimes I have to do those things. But if you kind of reduce those things, be intentional about it. Okay, I know there are times where we have no choice but to do this or that. There's been times I bought a gallon of milk on Sunday and by Wednesday it's already bad. So yeah, I got to get some more milk. There are times where you're going to have to do those things. So why not alleviate the things you know you have to take care of? Just do it now. Make yourself a schedule. You decide when you feel the time is right for you to do these things. But the key is be consistent, be focused. If you need to make lists, do that. Make a list of everything you want to do and divide it up into different days so that you're not so bombarded on one day. Because for me, it was a good idea to try to do everything on a Saturday, but it didn't really leave that much time for play. It didn't leave that much time to enjoy our Saturday. So now, yeah, there are times where we are going to have to just drop everything and let's go do this as a family. Leave room for that. It can be done. Your days do not have to be stressful. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you can just make a schedule of how you want your week to go. What's going to be easier for you? Getting everything done in the beginning or just waiting to the end of the week to do everything? Why don't you drop a comment down below and let me know what you do to prepare? If you have any questions or any suggestions, just leave it down below. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And until next time.